The Navajo tribe, also known as the Diné, is one of the largest and most resilient indigenous groups in North America. Their rich history is woven from ancient myths, enduring spirituality, and a long struggle for survival. The Navajo have faced centuries of external pressures, from Spanish colonization to forced relocation by the U.S. government, yet their cultural traditions and sense of identity remain intact. Understanding their history not only offers insight into the challenges they overcame, but also highlights their vital role in shaping the modern cultural landscape of the American Southwest. The history of the Navajo people begins over a millennium ago, with their ancestors migrating from the north, possibly from what is now Western Canada, as part of the Athabascan-speaking peoples. These ancestors settled in the southwestern United States, creating a deeply rooted cultural presence in the region known today as the Four Corners. However, to the Navajo, their origins are best understood through the lens of their creation stories. These stories, passed down orally through generations, are central to their worldview. According to Navajo cosmology, the world was created through a series of evolutions, often referred to as the Four Worlds. In the first world, known as the Black World, the holy people, or Diné, emerged from darkness. Through a series of conflicts and challenges, they progressed to the second and third worlds before finally arriving in the fourth world, which represents the current existence of the Navajo. First man and first woman were created here, along with the sun, moon, and stars. Together, these sacred beings shaped the landscape, planting the sacred four mountains that mark the boundaries of Navajo land: Mount Blanca, Mount Taylor, San Francisco Peaks, and Mount Hesperus. Each element in these stories is symbolic and reflects the Navajo's deep connection to nature. The mountains, for instance, are sacred, representing different cardinal directions and associated colors that are integral to Navajo rituals. The significance of balance between nature and people is ever present, emphasizing harmony as the cornerstone of Navajo spirituality. The Navajo Way, known as Husho, is the philosophical concept of balance, beauty, and order in all things. It emphasizes living in harmony with the earth, maintaining balance between positive and negative forces. When harmony is disrupted, healing ceremonies like the Blessing Way and Enemy Way are performed by traditional healers or medicine men known as Hatawi. These ceremonies are powerful, designed to restore spiritual balance in individuals and the community. The oral tradition of storytelling remains central to Navajo culture. Through stories, elders pass down not just their history, but also their morals, ethics, and life lessons. These narratives offer a window into how the Navajo view their place in the cosmos and their responsibilities to the natural world and future generations. For centuries, the Navajo people lived a semi-nomadic lifestyle, moving across the Southwest in small family units. Before European contact, they survived by hunting, gathering, and later cultivating crops. The arrival of the Spanish in the 16th century introduced new livestock, primarily sheep, which transformed Navajo society. Sheep herding became a central part of their economy and culture, and wool became the foundation for the renowned Navajo weaving tradition. Navajo rugs and blankets, known for their intricate patterns and bright colors, remain highly valued today. Navajo society is matrilineal, meaning that descent is traced through the mother's lineage. Women play a crucial role in Navajo culture, especially in domestic and economic life. They are often the ones responsible for weaving and managing livestock, and family inheritance is passed through the female line. Families traditionally lived in hogans, dome-shaped homes made of wood and earth. These structures are not just shelters, but sacred spaces aligned with spiritual beliefs. The doorway of a hogan always faces east to welcome the rising sun, symbolizing a new beginning each day. This connection between daily life and spiritual practice exemplifies how closely intertwined Navajo traditions are with their environment and their spirituality. Ceremonies and rituals punctuate Navajo life, reinforcing the bond between the people and the spiritual world. These ceremonies, often accompanied by sand paintings and songs, are used to maintain balance and harmony in the world, a concept at the heart of Navajo beliefs. The arrival of the Spanish in the 1500s marked a significant turning point in Navajo history. The Spanish introduced horses, guns, and new crops, which fundamentally altered the Navajo way of life. With horses, the Navajo became more mobile, and their territory expanded. However, the Spanish also brought violence and colonization. The Spanish sought to impose their rule over the Southwest, leading to frequent clashes with the Navajo. The Navajo fiercely resisted Spanish attempts to enslave them and force them into the mission system, where Native Americans were expected to convert to Christianity and labor for the colonial economy. However, despite the conflict, the Navajo were pragmatic. They adopted sheep herding from the Spanish, which became central to their economy and culture. Navajo women became expert weavers, and Navajo rugs soon gained fame for their quality and beauty. Even as the Navajo resisted subjugation, they engaged in strategic alliances and trade with the Spanish. This dual approach, resistance and adaptation, enabled them to preserve much of their cultural identity while also incorporating new practices that strengthened their community. The Spanish era was characterized by intermittent warfare, but also by cultural exchange, as the Navajo selectively incorporated beneficial aspects of Spanish culture. The resilience of the Navajo during this period set the stage for their continued survival in the face of later challenges from the United States. The mid-19th century brought a new and devastating challenge for the Navajo people: the expanding United States. As American settlers moved westward, they encroached on Navajo lands, leading to increased tensions and violent skirmishes. The U.S. government, eager to secure the territory, viewed the Navajo as a threat and launched a campaign to remove them from their homeland. The military campaign, led by Kit Carson in 1863, was brutal. U.S. forces implemented a scorched earth strategy, destroying Navajo homes, livestock, and crops. Faced with starvation and having no means to sustain themselves, the Navajo were forced to surrender. This marked the beginning of the Long Walk, a tragic chapter in Navajo history. Between 1864 and 1866, approximately 8,000 Navajo men, women, and children were forcibly marched over 300 miles from their ancestral lands in Arizona to Bosque Redondo, a reservation near Fort Sumner, New Mexico. The journey was grueling, with many Navajo dying from starvation, exposure, and exhaustion. The personal accounts of survivors reveal the emotional toll of this forced relocation. One Navajo elder recalled, "We were taken from the land where we were born, and our hearts were left behind." These words reflect the deep spiritual connection the Navajo have with their homeland, making the displacement not only a physical hardship, but also a profound cultural and emotional loss. At Bosque Redondo, conditions were dire. The arid land was unsuitable for farming, and the U.S. government provided little support. Disease spread rapidly, and many Navajo perished in the harsh environment. Life in the camp was defined by hunger, illness, and despair, with survivors describing the place as a prison of death. After 4 years of suffering, the U.S. government recognized the failure of the relocation policy. In 1868, the Navajo and the government signed a treaty allowing the Navajo to return to a portion of their homeland. The Treaty of 1868 was a momentous event, marking the end of the Long Walk and the beginning of the Navajo's journey to rebuild their lives. Despite the immense hardship, the Navajo never lost their sense of identity. The return to their homeland was bittersweet. Though the land had been ravaged, their spirits remained unbroken. They began the slow process of rebuilding their economy, culture, and community, reaffirming their resilience. One of the most celebrated chapters in modern Navajo history occurred during World War II, when Navajo soldiers played a crucial role in the U.S. military's success in the Pacific Theater. These soldiers, known as the Navajo Code Talkers, used their native language to develop a military code that was never broken by the enemy. The idea to use the Navajo language for secure communications came from Philip Johnston, a non-Navajo man who had grown up on a Navajo reservation and was fluent in the language. He proposed the idea to the U.S. Marine Corps in 1942, and it was quickly adopted. Navajo was an ideal choice for a military code because it was an unwritten language known only to the Navajo people and largely unknown outside the U.S. at the time. The Navajo Code Talkers were recruited and trained in secret. They developed a complex system that translated military terms into Navajo, using words from their everyday language to describe war equipment, For instance, the Navajo word for turtle was used to refer to a tank, and chicken hawk referred to a dive bomber. This code allowed for secure and rapid communication in battle, which was essential for coordinating military operations. The code talkers participated in several key battles in the Pacific, including the Battle of Iwo Jima, where their contributions were critical to the U.S. victory. Major Howard Connor, a Marine Corps officer, later remarked, "Were it not for the Navajos, the Marines would never have taken Iwo Jima." The Navajo Code was so effective that it remained classified until 1968, more than 20 years after the war ended. Only then were the contributions of the code talkers publicly recognized. Their role in the war not only demonstrated the strength and adaptability of the Navajo people, but also highlighted their loyalty and service to a country that, just a few decades earlier, had subjected them to the horrors of the Long Walk. Today, the Navajo Code Talkers are celebrated as national heroes, and their legacy is honored through memorials, documentaries, and the annual Navajo Code Talkers Day. Their story serves as a powerful reminder of how a once persecuted people used their language and cultural identity to help secure a critical victory for the United States. In the modern era, the Navajo continue to face significant challenges. Poverty, unemployment, and limited access to healthcare and education are persistent issues within the Navajo Nation. The vast and rural nature of their land complicates efforts to provide essential services, leading to disparities in quality of life compared to other regions of the United States. At the same time, the Navajo have embraced new economic opportunities. The tribe has utilized its natural resources, particularly coal, oil, and gas, though these industries have sparked debates about environmental sustainability. In recent years, the Navajo Nation has begun investing in renewable energy, including solar and wind projects, which offer a more sustainable path forward. The Navajo are also at the forefront of environmental justice movements, fighting to protect their land and water from pollution and overuse. Their deep spiritual connection to the land continues to guide their advocacy for environmental preservation, reflecting their centuries-old belief in living in harmony with nature. The future of the Navajo tribe rests on the shoulders of its youth, who are working to preserve their culture while embracing modern education and technology. Many young Navajo are returning to traditional practices, learning the Navajo language, and participating in ceremonies. At the same time, they are pursuing higher education and becoming leaders in fields like law, healthcare, and environmental science. By blending the old with the new, the Navajo people are charting a path forward that honors their past while preparing for a sustainable and prosperous future. The history of the Navajo tribe is a story of resilience, adaptation, and strength. From their ancient beginnings to their central role in modern American history, the Navajo have navigated profound challenges while maintaining their cultural integrity. Their journey through hardship and their ongoing efforts to protect their land, traditions, and future generations serve as a testament to their enduring spirit. As they continue to grow and evolve, the Navajo remain an important and influential voice in the contemporary world, balancing the preservation of their rich heritage with the pursuit of new opportunities.